At 70 years old, Reba McEntire is finally opening up about her life, her family, and the truth about her relationship with Kelly Clarkson. Born Reba Nell McEntire on March 28, 1955, in McAlester, Oklahoma, she grew up in a family deeply tied to rodeo culture and the traditions of the American West. Her father, Clark McEntire, was a champion steer roper, while her mother, Jacqueline, worked as a schoolteacher who quickly recognized her children's musical gifts. Reba and her siblings often sang together on long car rides, blending harmonies that became the earliest foundation of her love for music. What began as a pastime soon turned into a lifelong passion that would eventually carry her from rural Oklahoma to the world stage. Her big break came almost by accident in 1974 when she was discovered singing the national anthem at the National Finals Rodeo in Oklahoma City. Country star Red Steagall was in the audience and was immediately struck by her natural voice. With his encouragement, Reba headed to Nashville, where she signed a recording deal with Mercury Records. In the beginning, success was slow. Her early singles in the mid-1970s didn't make much impact, but Reba refused to give up. While pursuing her music career, she also studied elementary education at Southeastern Oklahoma State University, staying grounded even as she dreamed of stardom. By the 1980s, her persistence paid off. Songs like How Blue and Somebody Should Leave showcased her emotional depth and crystal-clear voice, resonating with fans who longed for authenticity in a time when country music was shifting toward pop. Reba stood out by telling stories through her songs as though she were living them herself. Her live performances radiated warmth and connection, earning her a devoted following. Through the 80s and 90s, she soared to superstardom with hits such as Whoever's in New England and The Last One to Know. Her fiery red hair, commanding stage presence, and heart-stirring vocals made her one of the most iconic women in country music. Reba's success extended beyond music. She won Grammys, CMA Awards, and ACM Awards, becoming one of the most decorated women in country history. Songs like Fancy, Is There Life Out There, and The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia became classics, blending storytelling with her dramatic flair. She also transitioned into acting, appearing in films like Tremors, and later starring in her own hit sitcom, Reba, which ran for 6 seasons and introduced her to an even wider audience. Yet, behind the success, Reba faced profound personal challenges. In 1991, tragedy struck when a plane crash killed several members of her band. Devastated, she channeled her grief into her music and carried on, proving her resilience both on and off stage. Her personal life was equally complex. Reba married champion steer wrestler Charlie Battles in 1976, but as her career blossomed, their marriage struggled under the weight of conflicting priorities. By 1987, they divorced, and though painful, it allowed Reba to fully dedicate herself to her career. 2 years later, she married Narvel Blackstock, a guitarist who became her manager. Together, they built a powerhouse partnership in life and business, founding Starstruck Entertainment and raising their son, Shelby, while Reba also became stepmother to Narvel's 3 children. For over 2 decades, their marriage appeared strong. But in 2015, after 26 years together, they announced their divorce. Reba later admitted it wasn't her choice and described it as one of the most difficult periods of her life. But once again, she leaned on her resilience to move forward. It was during this marriage that Reba's life became closely intertwined with Kelly Clarkson. Kelly, of course, rose to fame after winning the very first season of American Idol in 2002. Reba had admired her from the beginning, recognizing a once-in-a-generation voice and a heart that came through in every song. When Kelly married Reba's former stepson, Brandon Blackstock, in 2013, their bond deepened. They shared laughs, stages, and even unforgettable duets, with Reba often praising Kelly's powerhouse talent and down-to-earth humor. But when Kelly and Brandon went through a painful divorce, the situation inevitably touched Reba as well. Known for her honesty, she has spoken openly about it, explaining that her love for Kelly never wavered. "Divorce is hard, no matter who you are," Reba admitted. "I love my family deeply, and that includes Kelly. I didn't pick sides. I just wanted what was best for everyone, especially the kids." Her words reflect not only her admiration for Kelly as an artist, but her compassion for her as family. At 70, Reba is especially candid about her respect for Kelly Clarkson, calling her one of the strongest and most talented women she has ever known. She admires the way Kelly handled herself through heartbreak, describing her as a woman who stood tall, stayed true to herself, and showed resilience in the face of difficulty. Reba also spoke tenderly about Kelly's two children, River Rose and Remington, particularly after the devastating loss of their father, Brandon Blackstock. She praised Kelly's strength as a mother, guiding her children through grief with honesty, compassion, and love. "Kelly has been their rock," Reba explained. "She's teaching them that it's okay to cry, to ask questions, and to keep their daddy's memory alive." For Reba, who has known her own share of loss, this hits close to home. She understands grief and admires the strength Kelly and her children have shown through it. Watching them reminds her that even in the hardest times, love and family can keep people moving forward. And for Reba, Kelly Clarkson will always be family. "I love Kelly," she said simply. "I always have, and I always will. She's family no matter what, and I'll keep cheering her on every step of the way." Today, Reba McEntire is not only celebrated as the Queen of Country, but also as a woman who has lived through both heartbreak and triumph with grace. Her story is one of resilience, love, and authenticity, qualities that have made her a role model for generations. And in her relationship with Kelly Clarkson, she continues to prove that family is not defined by blood or marriage, but by the bonds of love, respect, and unwavering support.